Hello and happy National Cinema Day. And welcome back to Redeeming Reels, a creative project by myself, Rye Paulson, where we seek to watch movies and see the redemption within the reels. And like I said, today is National Cinema Day. And so I wanted to make something because I do love movies, I love cinema, all that type of stuff. I love the theater. And so I wanted to make a video corresponding with a post on our Redeeming Reels Instagram, so at Redeeming Reels, Reels, about cinema is blank. And I've come up with, I believe, 9 things that cinema is. And I want to, each one, you'll see this on the Instagram. It's much more clear. You can kind of visualize it and look at it as I talk about it. But cinema is something, and then there's 5 different things, like pictures, basically stills from movies, about this topic of cinema is whatever the thing that I choose. So I'm gonna go through them. They're not in any particular order. The last one I do believe is the most important. But this is my way of showing appreciation to a experience I love, a place I love, something I adore, I love, and I'm thankful to God for cinema, for movie theaters, for movies in general. So let's get into it. The first one that I want to talk about is cinema is art. Movies are art. They are artistic expressions, and there's so many ways that I could talk about cinema as art. You could talk about the writing, you could talk about the acting, you could talk about all those things. In this certain context, I am talking strictly visuals. And on the Instagram, you'll see that I put 5 different pictures of 5 different movies. I put Sicario, a movie that I recently watched. That just the cinematography from a guy named Roger Deakins is just out of this world spectacular. It is truly, truly incredible. Just the shots that are taken, the choices that are made with those shots, the color grading, all those things are spectacular. Another one that I chose is Blade Runner 2049. I think some of the best cinematography in the entire movie history. It's spectacular. The use of colors, I imagine on the picture I put when Ryan Gosling is walking kind of through all that orange. You have the iconic Ana de Armas pink kind of hologram thing. I mean, it's all just mesmerizing. It's incredible. And I truly think it's one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen. I gotta throw some animated in there. So I got Makoto Shinkai's Your Name. Truly one of the most spectacular works of art I've ever personally seen. It is literally a moving canvas, is what it feels like. It is beautiful. The animation style is incredible. Obviously, you add in all the things like the writing and all the other artistic expressions that are a part of film and cinema, but just visually Your Name is one of the most spectacular to look at. I added, honestly, The Way of Water, Avatar: The Way of Water, directed by James Cameron. And I'm not a huge fan of Avatar. I like Way of Water way better, excuse me, than I like the first Avatar. The first Avatar, I think, is the most overrated movie of all time, but that's another video, okay? But The Way of Water is one of the most spectacular things I've ever laid my eyes on. It's a visual spectacle. It's a visual masterpiece. James Cameron, what he did with cameras and underwater and all these things is absolutely absurd. It's fantastic. It's amazing. And I think everybody should watch this movie, not because I think it's the greatest movie of all time. I don't think it's top 200. Probably, more. But it is just a visual spectacle that is just so amazing. And then lastly, I have to talk about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which I think is the best looking movie I've ever seen, in terms of animation and art style and all this stuff. It is just, it's amazing. There's nothing like it. It's 3D, 2D mix of animation, the colors, everything about it literally blows me away. And that's why I think that it is so amazing. The second thing I want to talk about is cinema is a slice of life. A slice of life, that is something that represents your personal life or humanity's personal life. It's not a big action blockbuster. It's something that's about the mundane life. And I'm actually working on a video essay about this, and you'll see my favorites, and I'll talk about those. But so I'm going to briefly touch on a few of them. But Cinema is a Slice of Life. I put Beautiful Boy. It is one of my favorites. It's an incredible story of a father and a son, and it shows the depravity of man with addiction and drug use and what it means to be a father, and fatherly love. And I think it's absolutely incredible. Boyhood. This is a film that's filmed over 12 years of all these actors' lives, and it's basically about a boy who's growing up from a kid all the way through middle school. Ooh, I'm tired. In middle school and high school, and it's spectacular. Richard Linklater just does a fantastic job. Sound of Metal. Riz Ahmed should have won Best Actor in 2020 for this role, whereas he plays a drummer that loses his hearing, and so he loses his identity. He's trying to find himself, and I think everybody should watch this movie. It's really, really powerful, really, really good, and it's got one of the best endings ever, in my opinion. I love the ending. Past Lives, this movie came out this year, and it talks about purpose, kind of, not purpose, sorry, like destiny and who you were meant to be with and love, and the relationships like that of people that you love that you do not end up with, and really powerful. And it's just three people living in New York City. One's visiting New York City, I guess, and it's just them catching up after years and years and years and talking about their love and all. I mean, it's powerful, powerful stuff. And then lastly is Driveways. I put on my Instagram over there, and it's a movie of a young boy and his mom who go clean out his mom's sister's, so his aunt's house, because she passed away, and he makes friends with this old neighbor guy. And it's truly one of the best movies I've ever seen in my entire life. More people need to watch this movie. And it's incredible. It's, what does it mean to be a neighbor? What does it mean to be a friend? It's just them living life kind of together, figuring out what it means. And I think it's beautiful. It's amazing. It's what, like, I watched it, I'm like, this is what movies are all about. Cinema is experiential. It's an experience. Going to the theater, sitting in IMAX, sitting with your friends, with other people, a packed theater, it's an experience. Some of my favorite theater experiences were this past year, Oppenheimer. I mean, this is literally weeks ago. Sitting on the edge of my seat, just unable to process what's going on, just tense and anxious, and just this whole movie was an experience. I remember watching A Quiet Place. This was an experience for me, for my friends. I remember the theater was packed. We were at, when it was Cinetopia, I believe, still at Vancouver Mall. And everyone was just silent. Everyone was just absolutely silent, which was crazy. Of course, there's Avengers Endgame, Captain America lifting Mjolnir, or all the portals opening up, and Anthony Mackie's Falcon says, "On your left." When Tony Stark says, "I am Iron Man," that is a experience. Especially if you love Marvel, even if you don't, that's an experience to be a part of. I put No Way Home. Spider-Man No Way Home. That was an experience. One of the best experiences I've ever had in a movie theater. It was truly, truly spectacular. Because of Toby and Andrew and Tom all coming together on screen. You see them, the theater is roaring. Daredevil's in the movie. Like, it is just an experience. Then lastly, I put Top Gun Maverick. This has really revived movie theaters. I mean, it was an experience. Packed house. I saw it in, like, Virginia with my brother, and there's people there, and it was intense, and the big screen, it was loud, and it was like, wow, this is what movies are made to be. And it was amazing. I really, really, really loved it. But Just fantastic. Cinema is love. Cinema is love stories. 100%. I think of When Harry Met Sally. Just an incredible rom-com romantic story. Just of two people meeting and how they met and how they fell in love and where they had come from. All those things. There's Casablanca, which is a classic. That I haven't seen in so long that I barely remember, but I remember that it's about love, of course. Just fantastic. I put the movie About Time, just the best rom com I think ever. A story of love and destiny, and a man who's resetting the time just so he can get things right and fall in love and have kids and do everything perfectly. Um, Talk about Interstellar, which we wouldn't consider Interstellar like a love movie, but the point of Interstellar is that love transcends all of time. And if you're a Christian, you know that love that does transcend all of time is God's love, and it's powerful, it's palpable. When I think about that movie and the grandeur of that movie, I think about love. And of course, my favorite, I put La La Land. It's a story about love. It's a story about heartbreak. It's a story about how, you know, um, I guess you're not always meant to be together, you know? And it's quaint, it's tough, and it's heartbreaking, but it's beautiful. Another great ending to a film. Cinema is culture. Cinema is culture. It's difference. It's other centered. It's unified. It's all those things. I think about Moonlight, story about an African American boy who grows up and he has to deal with his sexuality. Like, powerful things. That is culture. That's real. That's something that people deal with, right? I think about the movie Coco, Pixar's Coco, showing general audiences just this rich history of Latino culture. It's just fantastic. It's beautiful. And animation wise, it's amazing. The story is heartbreaking and perfect. It feels like it's just awesome. Think of Parasite. Obviously, it's not like particularly about the culture per se. It is a little bit. It's about like societal cultures and things like that. But it's a South Korean film that won Best Picture, and it put South Korean cinema and I would say foreign cinema just on the map again. For general audiences. Obviously, if you're in the film community and things like that, you watch these movies. But Parasite is a movie that's changing cinema culturally because people are like, oh, this won Best Picture? I gotta watch this, you know? How about Black Panther? You know, it's the first African American superhero that we see on screen in the MCU, and it's, you know, Chadwick Boseman, and it's powerful, and it's showing that culture, and Wakanda is thought out and beautiful and amazing. It's incredible. And the last one I put is a recent watch. This is one of the best movies I've ever seen. Is Do the Right Thing. It's about the hottest day of summer in New York City, I believe. If I'm wrong, then I apologize. But it's about love and hate and race and culture, and it's incredible. I mean, the writing is superb, and it shows these what people go through, and I think it's beautiful. Cinema is brilliant minds. I mean, some of my favorite directors. I'm just going to rattle off a few. I don't need to talk forever, but Stanley Kubrick brought I think the best movie of all time. Not my favorite movie, but the best movie of all time. 2001: Space Odyssey. Brilliant mind. Quentin Tarantino. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, The Kill Bill, you know, Double Saga, Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, which I think is his best film. There's a couple others that I'm missing, of course. Inglourious Bastards and Django Unchained, and there's more. Just incredible films. He's a brilliant writer, brilliant mind. Hayao Miyazaki. Just changed the game for anime film, right? Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke, My Neighbor Totoro. Like the list goes on and on and on. He's revolutionized cinema for what he's done with the animated genre. It's truly some of those movies are some of the best movies I've ever seen. Spirited Away is the second best animated movie of all time. I think it's a perfect movie. Um, so Hayao Miyazaki is a legend. Martin Scorsese. I mean, he's done things like Wolf of Wall Street, which most people have seen and they know, but that's not his best work, in my opinion. You have like Taxi Driver, and you have my favorite film, Silence, and The Irishman. I mean, there's tons and tons of projects that Martin Scorsese has written and wrote, and he's brilliant. He's such a brilliant. The Departed, like, he's so good. He's so incredible, and he's changed movies forever. And then lastly, I put Christopher Nolan. I think he's made spectacles, right? I mean, he changed the superhero genre. Oppenheimer, I think, is one of the most important films ever made. Interstellar is one of the best science fiction films ever made. The Prestige is like an incredible kind of thriller that I love. And Memento, like, there's so much to talk about with Chris Nolan, and he's amazing. I mean, his writing is superb. He weaves in important themes within his films, and I love him a lot. So, cinema is brilliant minds. Cinema is forever. And this is kind of just homage. This is people that have been impactful in cinema that have passed away. You have Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia, one of the most iconic roles in history. Literally. Just she plays the character for so long, and she does such a good job that it's amazing. You have Heath Ledger. I mean, what's there not to say? Obviously, you have 10 Things I Hate About You. You have A Knight's Tale, but you have the most iconic villain, in my opinion, ever. At least one or two. It's him or Darth Vader, clearly. And he plays this role perfectly as the Joker. Becomes the character, obviously, which was his demise, but he changed superhero film. He gave one of the best performances, and one of the best performance in the superhero genre. Chadwick Boseman, just an incredible actor. He's in 42. He's in not Just Mercy. Sorry, that's that was Michael B. Jordan. And obviously he plays Black Panther. And he plays this amazing, incredible superhero, and at the same time, in real life, he's dying of cancer. And nobody knows. And just amazing, man. I put River Phoenix, which many people might not know. He plays young Indiana Jones. He's in Stand By Me, which is my favorite movie of all time. And he was supposed to be just one of the best up and coming actors, like just an incredible child actor. He's fantastic, and it's heartbreaking that he died so young. And then lastly, Robin Williams, Dead Poets Society, Genie, Good Will Hunting, like Doubtfire, Good Morning Vietnam. Like, he's a light for the world, and to lose him to such a heartbreaking thing as depression, anxiety, and all that is just, it's so sad. I can't believe it. And he is missed in cinema, but cinema is Robin Williams, because Robin Williams changed it forever. Gave some of the best performances. He's hilarious, but he's also serious. It's amazing. Cinema's forever, and rest in peace to Robin Williams, River Phoenix, Chadwick Boseman, Heath Ledger, Carrie Fisher, and all the other amazing stars that are gone too soon. Cinema is subjectivity. What do I mean? I mean, cinema is personal. People like what they like based on their personality, what they love, all these things, their interests. Your top 5 shouldn't be the same as another person's top 5. Yeah, there probably are objective better movies, of course. But your favorite movies are your favorite movies. Don't anyone say that they can't be your favorite movies. My favorite 5 are Stand By Me at 1, Good Will Hunting at 2, After Sun at 3, 12 Angry Men at 4, and The Batman at 5. And as much as I would love to talk about these, I need to make an actual full-length video on my favorite movies of all time. Stand By Me is just so near and dear to my heart. Go Hunting. You have Robin Williams and Matt Damon together. After Sun is the most heartbreaking movies I've ever seen. 12 Year Men is brilliant writing. The Batman is, it's the Batman. Of course, I love it. But I don't want to say too much. But cinema is subjectivity. It's not objective. It's subjective. It's about you personally. And lastly, cinema is the Lord's. It's God's. God is over all. And he's over cinema as well. I think of movies like Passion of the Christ, right? Which clearly is God's, it's a depiction of Jesus. I think of a movie like Shawshank Redemption. Get busy dying or get busy living, right? Shawshank Redemption shows, it's in the title, but it's redemption. It's a redemptive arc. That's God. The Iron Giant, I think, is one of the clearest depictions in media of the crucifixion and the resurrection. Crazy, right? But incredible. Magnificent movie. I get a loss for words when I think about the Iron Giant. You have a movie like Silence, directed by Martin Scorsese, which is a film about Jesuit priests and denying Jesus and persecution, and it's heavy stuff. And then you have Lord of the Rings, which, although they're not like Christian movies, of course, the books are written by a Christian, a devout Christian, and they have so many Christian themes throughout, and they're one of the best movies of all time. It's the best trilogy of all time. You look at all these movies, you look at Chronicles of Narnia, you could look at pretty much every single movie. I could give you something for Pacific Rim on how Pacific Rim shows us something about the Christian life or Jesus. Cinema is the Lord's. God is Lord over all things, and that means he's Lord over movies as well. That's what this whole entire page, this project, is all about, is the fact that God doesn't redeem the reels. He is within them. He's already there. He's present. It's not like we're searching for him and we have to put something and kind of twist the narrative to fit Jesus within there. Like, he's already there, present. Obviously, there are things that are evil and awful where God is not. But I think we can find something in almost every single movie. Every single movie. So, cinema is amazing. It's the Lord's, first and foremost. It's forever. It's subjective. It's brilliant minds. It's culture. It's love. It's experiential. It's a slice of life. And it's art. Cinema is all these things. And I just hope that you go enjoy your day of National Cinema Day. Everything's $4. Popcorn, drinks, tickets. It's all $4. So go watch a movie and see the redemption within the reels. And when that movie's over, tell me, what was your favorite?